from Vita Magica Alchemy. Welcome to the weekly affirmation for August the 26th to September the 1st. So, as usual, if you're just joining me on Instagram, you'll only get the affirmation for this week. And if you head over to YouTube at Vita Magica Alchemy, follow the link in my bio, you'll get the tapping session that's included after the card pulling. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Stella Marin. So to save us some time to fit within the 10 minutes on Instagram, I already chose the card for this week. And our affirmation is, my willpower is stronger than my bad habits. Use this gift when you feel unable to overcome long-held beliefs, habits, or compulsions. Like affirmations, our habits gain in strength from constant repetition and our belief in their ability to help us cope with life in some way. They can be dealt with by using this gift and by accepting and loving yourself more and more. So if you are following me on Instagram, then you know this past week I've been making a few posts about self-love and loving yourself even more and more. And I love that this card is pointing out to us that in order to change our thoughts, beliefs, our habits, our behaviors, our patterns, that the way to do that is with self-love. So habits come in a lot of disguises. It's really easy to think of a bad habit as, maybe biting your nails when you're nervous or smoking cigarettes when you're stressed. So some of these habits seem obvious when they're external physical things that we do. But habits don't have to necessarily be a physical habit. Consistently being late all the time is a bad habit. Procrastinating is a bad habit. Having negative thoughts over and over again, obsessive worrying, OCD, talking badly about yourself, talking poorly about other people. These are all habits, bad habits and behaviors. Anything that's compulsory that we just keep doing over and over again without even giving a lot of thought or attention to it. Even just binge watching streaming sites and videos and things, like that's a bad habit. It's a form of escapism. It's a form of avoidance. So the important thing to do this week is to take a look at the things in our life that just aren't serving us. The things that we run to in order to cope. Whatever we use as our coping mechanism. Maybe every day after work you go to happy hour and just hanging out with coworkers, just relaxing and having a few drinks. That's your coping mechanism. Maybe it's the, binge watching shows on Netflix. Maybe it's smoking. Maybe it's eating. Anything. And these, like I said, these are just external things. But it's important to identify the things that we're doing that are just not getting us anywhere. They're not helping us reach our goals. They're not serving other people. They're not serving ourselves. These are the things that we need to recognize in ourselves and realize that if we have the desire to overcome them, then it's possible. Nothing's impossible and nothing is hopeless. Like the card says, my willpower is stronger than my bad habits. All it takes is a true authentic desire to want to change, to want to be better. And that is where you start. It all starts from there. And if you have that desire will continue to grow and continue to grow, and it'll become easier and easier to overcome our habits. And then the second most important thing to do is, sure, once you identify the habit, that's great, but then what do you do to stop it? If it was that easy to stop the habit, it wouldn't be a habit. You wouldn't keep doing it over and over again. I hate to admit that when I was younger, I used to smoke. And I always smoked when I was really stressed out or if I was really angry. And then over time, I realized that I knew I didn't want to smoke anymore. But then if I went out in social situations, especially to a bar, and if I was drinking, I noticed that I was always smoking when my friends were going out to smoke or if I was drinking. So I said to myself one night, I was like, well, it seems like I really only smoke when I drink. So let's not smoke when I drink anymore. And it's just little steps at a time to break the habit. But I knew that I wanted to quit. So it was just kind of micromanaging it and breaking it down into smaller things, recognizing my patterns of smoking. When was I reaching for a cigarette? When was I smoking the most? And working around that. But the reason why we do things is because there's an underlying cause. Like I said, the smoking was because I was stressed or I was angry, and that was my immediate coping mechanism. Whatever it is that we're using, whatever it is that our bad habit is, there's an underlying cause. There's some sort of wound within us that needs to be healed. So it's really important to get to the root of that. And that's not always going to be easy, but that's something that we can meditate on, we can just sit with, and we can just observe and give attention to. Really, awareness is the key. Giving awareness to something is what opens up the door for us to start seeing the bigger picture and start understanding it a little bit better. But first, we have to be aware that it exists. But then we also have to accept that it exists. We have to accept that we have this habit and don't beat ourselves up for it. Say, all right, I recognize that this is something I have that I want to change. I recognize that I want to start being on time for things. I want to start showing up. I don't want to always have excuses anymore. I don't want to be apologizing all the time anymore. Whatever it is, just recognize it and accept it, and then you can go from there to figure out what is going to work best for you to help overcome these things, whatever it may be. And give yourself time. There's no rush. It might take years to quit a bad habit, and that's okay. As long as that desire and that willpower is there to want to change, that's what's most important. Your desire to be better, and your desire to improve, and your desire to be in alignment with your highest self. That's what's important. All right, well, I hope that this card and this affirmation treats you well in the coming week. I know it's definitely going to give me a lot to think about and a lot to focus on. So, to go with that card, we're going to do a tapping session about breaking our bad habits. So if you'd like to join me for that, head to the link in my Instagram bio, head to my YouTube channel under Vina Magica Alchemy, and I hope to see you there. All right, so let's get into the tapping session for this week for this affirmation. And remember, the affirmation is, my willpower is stronger than my bad habits. So remember to stay hydrated. Definitely get some water, drink some water beforehand, and then definitely stay hydrated afterwards. And like I've mentioned before, you can do this tapping session as many times as you want. You can sit here and just replay it over and over again. You can do it once a day. Whatever feels best for you. But when it comes to affirmations, repetition is key. To just say the affirmation once or twice, or to just go through this tapping session once, isn't going to be enough to start changing the patterns and thoughts in your mind, and to start integrating, getting the message, clearing out our meridians and our points that we're tapping on. So it's important to do this as much as you feel called to do it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Just follow along with me. You can use one hand, two hands, doesn't matter. We're going to begin on the karate chop point. Even though I have bad habits that aren't serving me, I love, accept, and forgive myself anyway. Even though I feel unable to overcome long-held beliefs, I love, accept, and forgive myself anyway. Even though I sometimes feel weak and cave to unserving thoughts and behaviors, I deeply love and accept and forgive myself. I admit that I have unserving habits, but I don't always have the willpower to stop them. Am I really so weak that I can't stop these thoughts, habits, and behaviors? Why can't I stop doing the things that I don't want and do the things that I do want instead? Sometimes I don't even realize that I'm doing it. Maybe I'm hopeless. How can I move forward if I can't stop doing this behavior? What if I don't really want to stop doing this behavior? I know that I can figure this out. There has to be some deeper reason why I am always thinking, acting, or behaving this way. I can stop this habit for good. My willpower is stronger than my bad habits. These habits are not helping me cope, but are hindering me from healing. I have the desire to heal the things that I am avoiding. I give myself permission to trust my higher self, that I am capable of overcoming this. I can stop this habit forever once I understand the cause. I am willing to find the underlying cause of my habits. I am willing to accept this part of me and to forgive myself. My self-sabotage is not intentional. It is possible for me to change my beliefs. I am making positive changes right now. My desire to change creates a new path towards self-improvement. I am now healing the underlying cause of my behaviors. And so it is. Take a deep breath in. Hold it. Let it go. All right. And just keep coming back to this. Like I said, you can do this as many times as you want. Affirmations must be repeated. And the more they are repeated, the more they're going to work and the faster they're going to work. So remember to stay hydrated. If you like this video, if you want to come back to it, you can save it, subscribe to my channel. That way you know when my videos are being posted every single week. I try to get them up every Sunday. Sometimes, like today, it gets put up on a Monday. So just click that subscribe button and you will always be notified as soon as my videos appear. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week.